everyone, what is going on? So we have a new layout for you. Let me know what you think. I'm really looking for your opinion, and things will change accordingly if I feel like they should. And I definitely want to hear your feedback. The only thing I think is maybe the screen is a little bit too small. What do you guys think? Do you think it's too small? If it is, I could remove the iPhone image and I could just stretch it to the end. But I think this looks cool. I just think it might be a little bit too small. But I'm definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But yeah, we're doing the Safari Cup battles. We're doing Montreal Safari Cup battles, and the team I'm using for this video is Skarmory, Venusaur, Poliwrath, Lantern, Charizard, and Toxicroak, and my opponent is using a shiny Lapras. He's using Bastiodon, Quagsire, Skarmory, Toxicroak, and Victreebel. So very powerful team. I will leave a link to Trexler's Twitter in the description down below. He is adding people if anybody is interested. I'm not sure how many people he's adding, but he wants to add people that can battle or that are really into PvP. So if you're interested, definitely go ahead and go follow him. I'm sure he'll appreciate it, and I'm sure he'll add quite a bit of you. He already did, actually. I think he added some of you. So if you're interested, definitely go ahead and click on the link in the description down below and go ahead and follow him. But yeah, as I said, just doing the new cup. I may or may not enter it, but a lot of you still had said you wanted battles for this new cup, even if we're not going to enter it. So that's what I'm giving you. I'm giving you a new I'm giving you battle videos, but unfortunately he gets off a move before I'm able to get off the Hydro Pump, which is Earthquake, and that will knock us out, so he'll take game 1. Very unfortunate for us because we had that Hydro Pump, but not able to get to it. But we did get a Sinnoh Stone, so I'll take it, even though we don't need it. So we're going to jump into another game. I do begin with Charizard, and he leads with his Victreebel, so this is definitely a positive matchup for us. We knew he had to switch ASAP. I actually switched, but it goes ahead and activates Dragon Claw, so I must have accidentally clicked on it. I didn't mean to use Dragon Claw, but that's okay. We switch into Poliwrath right now. I'm going to go ahead and block this because I don't want to take any damage. And we're going to go ahead and fire off this Power Up Punch to see how much damage it does. Only hitting the great, that's okay. We're going to go ahead and actually get off another Power Up Punch, so I was not expecting a shield at this point. And he does actually go ahead and shield, and I guess that's because he had a charge move ready to go. I decided to let it go through, and it is Earthquake, so doing a lot of damage. It does knock us out, but it does do a lot of damage. So that's definitely good for him, I guess. We're both down a shield. At least we did take one shield. He brings in that Skarmory to knock me out. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Charizard right now, and I'm going to bluff with the Dragon Claw. Now, as I said, I shouldn't have used Dragon Claw earlier. That was totally a mistake. Didn't mean to do it, and we would have had the energy, but at least we take his last shield. Either way, he switches into Victreebel, and I pull the switch immediately into Toxicroak. I should have stayed in with Charizard. I just pulled, I knew he had Victreebel because I saw it early in the game, but I totally forgot, so I just immediately switched upon his switch. So Charizard would have been the better way to go, but it doesn't matter because we have a shield, and yeah, we can just block this and we'll be able to get to a Blast Burn and take the game. But that's okay. So really fine game, really fine game. We do get to that Blast Burn, as I said, and we're able to finish off that Skarmory and take this game. So really good game, really good game. Gonna go ahead and jump into another one. By the way, guys, I do have a Mirror Cup this Sunday. I think I told you, so be on the lookout for that video. But we're going to go ahead and jump into it, beginning with Skarmory. And he does begin with his shiny Lapras. That is a Lapras that has Ice Shard, so we're going to pull the switch into Toxicroak. I'm going to go ahead and allow this Surf to go through. It does do a lot of damage because of how squishy Toxicroak is, but we're still able to get it. For some reason, I was having trouble hitting Excellence on the ground move, which is really strange to me because I haven't had trouble in the past. So, yeah, I don't really know why, but we bring in Skarmory, and those counters are doing quite a bit of damage to Skarmory. We're going to go ahead and fire off that Sky Attack and knock out Toxicroak. So up a shield, up a Pokemon. He does bring in his Bastiodon though, which is really unfortunate. I don't really have a good answer to it, so I just bring in my Venusaur. And, I mean, we're neutral to it, right? Frenzy Plant, it's still not doing a lot of damage, so he's going to pull the switch into Lapras. And I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Frenzy Plant, which is going to be met with a shield, of course, because otherwise it would have fainted it. These ice shards are just going to completely knock me out, and I knew it was over at this point because Skarmory cannot deal with Bash Shield on. So unfortunately, not much I could do. I just decided to. I was in a good position. There was probably a way I could have come out of it. I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just try to knock out his shiny Lapras with fast moves, which we do end up succeeding at doing, but unfortunately his Bash Shieldon is just too tanky. We tried for the Flash Cannon. I knew it wouldn't knock it out, but I was like, you know, hopefully I'm wrong, hopefully it does, but no, it doesn't knock it out. So he does go ahead and take that win, knocking us out with Flash Cannon. So these games for the most part went back and forth. We had quite a lot of good games. So for this match, I do begin with Toxicroak, and he does begin with Skarmory. So Skarmory definitely wins this matchup, but Toxicroak is doing a lot with those counters. Unfortunately, Toxicroak's charge moves do not do much to Skarmory. However, he decides to save up his energy, and he switches out. I'm going to go ahead and fire off another Mud Shot, and I believe he shields again. Yeah, he shields again. I was a little bit surprised to see a double shield, because we're actually able to get off a third Mud Bomb. So I'll go ahead and take that. And 3 Mud Bombs, taking 2 shields, so definitely favorable for us. However, I do have to keep in mind he does have energy charged up. So I'm going to go ahead and block this. I was thinking he might try and bluff with the Stone Edge, but I didn't want to take any chances. And, oh no, I thought he got off another one. I guess not. So that's good for us. And he's going to go ahead and bring in, let's see what he brings in. He brings in Skarmory, so Skarmory is going to get off a Sky Attack or a Flash Cannon. It is a Sky Attack. We could take those for days. He switches into Bash Shieldon. Not going to go ahead and pull the switch. I get off a Hydro Pump, which is going to do a lot of damage because he used up both his shields. So definitely a lot of damage to that Bash Shieldon. We're not going to allow it to destroy us like it did in the previous game. Blocking that Stone Edge because I knew I'd be able to knock him out with Water Gun, and then we could fire off a Thunderbolt against his Skarmory, and that is going to knock out Skarmory. So we do go ahead and take that game. So really nice game. Always a pleasure battling Trexler. It's really fun. So we're jumping into another battle, beginning with Poliwrath. He does begin with his shiny Lapras, so definitely favorable for us because we resist the ice moves, the water moves, and we have Power Up Punch, which is super effective against ice, but he does pull the switch at the correct time, so nice switch on his end, but because he switched, he will be locked, and now we could bring in Lantern, and we could farm him for days because we could take these Sky Attacks easy. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to farm him down with Water Gun, doing a lot of damage. He's going to hit us with another Sky Attack. That's okay. We are getting relatively low, but I do believe I do fire off a Thunderbolt because I didn't want to use a shield because we were getting really low. So we did knock out his Skarmory, and we're going to be able to get up to another Thunderbolt, which is going to go against the shiny Lapras, which obviously is going to force a shield. So I'll definitely take that. A Lantern has definitely done its job, so I'm really happy about that. I believe I let it go at this point. Yeah, I let it go because I didn't think I could get to another Thunderbolt. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Poliwrath, which is definitely going to do a lot of damage with that Power Up Punch. We can take this Ice Beam, and I'm going to go ahead and use that Power Up Punch right now, which is going to be really strong against his Lapras. So again, I'm going to let this attack go through. No need to use a shield. Surf, we could actually take that. So we're going to go ahead and finish off Lapras with Bubble. I wish I had a Mud Shot one. I really do. And then fire off Power Up Punch against his Bash Shieldon. And that's going to be met with a shield. But we get another Power Up Punch off, guys. Can you believe it? Having a hard time getting excellent on that as well, although we did get it that time. Still having a hard time, but Bash Shieldon is so low that this time Venusaur is able to clean up, and we're going to use a shield. We could have survived that flamethrower, but why not better be safe than sorry, right? We might as well not take any chances. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up that game. So that was a good one. So we're jumping into another game, and guys, let me know what team you would use or what team you want to see me use, because I'll be showcasing teams every single video. So I do go ahead and bluff with this Charizard. Well, not really a bluff, because actually Blast Burn would have done more, but so yeah, it was a bluff. But we bring in Toxicroak right now, getting off a Mud Bomb against his Quagsire, which almost knock it out. Now, I didn't hit that excellent again, guys. If I hit that excellent, it would have knocked it out. But that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and throw up a shield. And we'll see what he decides to bring in. It is going to be that Skarmory. Now, Skarmory is good against Toxicroak, of course, but Toxicroak does do a lot to it with counter. Now, we're going to go ahead and use Mud Bomb. He actually blocks. I was actually really surprised. I don't know what he was expecting. Maybe Dynamic Punch, but we don't have Dynamic Punch. But maybe it would be better for this format. Maybe it wouldn't be. I'm not really too sure. But we don't have it on our Toxicroak. So I bring in Skarmory. We're going to be able to take these Sky Attacks, and his Skarmory is definitely going to go down before ours. He brings in Toxicroak, and to get off a move, I am not concerned. I could take that Mud Bomb, and then we're going to go ahead and fire off a Sky Attack to knock out, or not knock out, to take his last shield. And then we actually have so much energy saved up, we have enough for another Sky Attack. As you can see, getting better with the excellence on the flying at least, so... You know, I'll take that. So he goes ahead and gets off a Sky Attack against us. I'm going to go ahead and block it because I wanted to knock out his Skarmory before he knocked out mine. But unfortunately, he got to another Sky Attack. I thought I'd be able to get to one before he got to his. But that's okay because we bring in Charizard and we knock out Skarmory. And we do go ahead and take that game. So, good game. Good game. We're going to go ahead and jump into another battle beginning with Venusaur. He does begin with his Bastiodon, so not really good for us. We're going to go ahead. Actually, nothing is good for us. Well, Lantern is good against Bastiodon, so what am I talking about? So we're going to be able to take this move, and I was expecting to switch, but he decides to stay in, at least for right now, so I was really surprised at why he stayed in. So I was curious of what he had in the back because he decided to stay in. So we're going to fire off a Thunderbolt, bluffing the Hydro Pump, and he does decide to shield that. And then he switches into his Victreebel, excuse me, his Victreebel. I'm surprised he didn't switch in earlier. I would have switched in like immediately. But I really don't have a good answer to Victreebel, unfortunately. So I'm going to bring in Toxicroak. I could have brought in Venusaur, I guess. I decided to bring in Toxicroak. He goes ahead and gets off a Leaf Blade. Not really going to do much to us. I know I resist those grass and poison moves. That's why I decided to bring in Toxicroak. Getting off a Mud Bomb to knock out Victreebel, so that's definitely good for us. However, Toxicroak is really weak. He does bring in Skarmory, and I have a Venusaur in the back. So Skarmory destroys Venusaur, and it destroys Toxicroak quite nicely, so there's really not much I could do regardless of what I brought in. So I decided to just let him finish me off because he still has a shield left. You know, I had 2 shields left. He beat me when I had 2 shields, but he just put a better lineup there. Not much I could do. So for this game, I bring in Skarmory. He does bring in his Victreebel, so definitely positive for us. He switches into his Skarmory. I'm going to pull the switch into Charizard. And he gets off a Sky Attack, so I'm going to go ahead and I will block this because I don't want to take it. And I believe I bluffed the Dragon Claw here. I charge up quite a bit. Yeah, I do go ahead and try and bluff the Dragon Claw. I don't believe he falls for it, though. No, he doesn't fall for it. He takes the hit. So if I went for Blast Burn, it would have knocked out his Skarmory. So nice read on his end to not think that I was going to go for Blast Burn. So we still finish off the Skarmory, but unfortunately... doesn't do much for us. I'm going to go ahead and bluff with another Dragon Claw. He doesn't fall for it. To be fair, Blast Burn wouldn't have done much anyway, so I probably should have just went for the Blast Burn. But I did go for the Blast Burn the next time around, and it still, as you can see, didn't do a lot. But we'll bring in Poliwrath, and we'll just go to town, charging up on him. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Power Up Punch. He's not going to think it's a nice punch because he hasn't shielded that. So I'm going to bring in Skarmory. So again, he's reading me like a book. Definitely not shielding my bluffs. That he has to shield. There's no bluff coming from Skarmory. You can't bluff with Skarmory. What am I going to bluff? A Flash Cannon? No. So he hits us with Acid Spray. So there's no way I was going to shield that, but you know, of course, Acid Spray was the correct play because he lowers my defense. Getting off a Sky Attack, he's not going to shield that. So really nice, bold predictions on his end. I tried to bluff him so many times in this game, guys, and I wasn't able to do it. Now, we still ended up winning because we bring in Poliwrath. We just have the better Pokemon. He does get off Stone Edge, which is not going to knock us out. Flamethrower wouldn't have knocked us out, and we're going to go ahead and fire off a Power Up Punch, which will knock him out. So we do go ahead and take this game. game. So definitely didn't fall for any of our bluffs. So nice plays on his end. You know, I can't say it enough. Definitely good plays on his end. So we're going to jump into another game beginning with Lantern, and he does begin with his shiny Lapras. And this is favorable for us. A little surprised as to why he decided to stay in. Oh, I guess charging energy, that makes sense. We will fire off the Hydro Pump. Since he didn't fall for any bluffs last game, I decided to just fire it off. He didn't fall for it that turn either. He goes ahead and shields, so nice shield on his end. However, we do have a Venusaur ready to go. That did a lot of damage. So I'm just going to charge up quite a bit of energy, and unfortunately he fires off a Stone Edge before I'm able to get off a Frenzy Plant. So I got a little bit greedy, decided to charge up more than I could afford to. Definitely a mistake on my end, costing me a shield, but that is okay. And he brings in Lapras, so I'm going to go ahead and use his Frenzy Plant. Still in a really good position because this will force his last shield. And then we bring in Lantern, which will resist all of his moves. Ice Shot, Ice Beam, Surf. So we could take that Surf. We could take this Surf again. You know, we could take Surf for days. We can't take we can't take a lot of Surfs, but we could take a couple more. So firing off a Thunderbolt immediately just to knock out this Lapras because I don't want to deal with it anymore. And then he brings in his Skarmory. So favorable matchup again for us. He does get off a Sky Attack. I do block this because I was pretty confident I could get to a Thunderbolt. As you can see, we do get to a Thunderbolt, and we are able to not knock it out, but then a couple Water Guns will knock out him and me, and that's going to conclude that game for the win. So we do go ahead and take that win. So next up, we will begin with, let's see what we begin with. We begin with Toxicroak, and he does begin with his Quagsire. So, you know, I mean, we're going to be weak to that Earthquake if he can get to it. Let's see how much Mud Bomb will do to him. Hitting the Excellent finally that game. So, I mean, doing a decent amount of damage, trying to finish him off. He does pull the switch to save up the energy. I could have thrown the Sludge Bomb, but I decided to just bring in the Skarmory just to farm him up. Save the energy, right? And, yeah, he's going to hit us with Acid Spray, which will lower our defense, unfortunately, but that's okay because we can just farm up that Victreebel. And now we have Sky Attack and Flash Cannon ready to go, waiting to see what comes in. It is going to be that Skarmory, so I do fire off Sky Attack, and that will not be blocked, of course. And then we're going to get to another one, but I do decide to go for the Flash Cannon because it does a little bit more damage. So I will go for that Flash Cannon, and I wasn't expecting a shield, so I felt comfortable using a Flash Cannon. And now he's very weak, as am I, but we get off another Sky Attack against him. I guess he's saving up his energy trying to knock us down. He will forfeit a shield there and use a Sky Attack to try and knock us out. As he does knock us out, which is fine. I'll keep my shields, and I'm going to go ahead and be able to take a Sky Attack or a Flash Cannon. It is a Sky Attack, so we'll take that. He brings in his Quagsire. Not going to risk this, even if it wasn't Earthquake, which it wasn't. We were still in a good position, at least in my opinion, because of how weak his Pokemon were. And there we go. We knock out Skarmory. And that is going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.